Okay, so now that you're familiar with what position you're looking at, now we need to know how we're going to get there. So the most standard way of getting to X guard is from butterfly guard. So this is what we're looking at for our entrance. I'll show again a slightly different angle. When you're doing this, you're bringing your partner up in a butterfly sweep, almost like you're going to throw them over your head, or maybe slightly to one side. I like to hold the leg with my right arm, so I'm going to throw Professor Neil just slightly over my left shoulder. And when I do that, his hands are going to go to the floor. And I'm going to spin so I can get underneath him. Go again this way. Throw him up, push him over, and spin. When you're doing this, it doesn't have to be fast. It does help, of course, but what's really helping is your shins are holding their weight up. So when you have that lapel or underhooks, and you pull, this is now my shins holding his weight up, and then redirect him. And then slide underneath. So this could be a very common one. Probably the most common one there is. One that I prefer is from a butterfly guard. If I leave this knee down, I dive it underneath and pull him up and slide under. So again, very, very similar. The reason I like this is, you go this way slightly. If I have the underhook, a lot of times I can get someone pushing on my knee and I'll kick this leg underneath. And from my experience, they try to flatten me out and then go to half mount. So one thing I don't want them doing is grabbing my head. That's a bit of a problem. But the entrance to the sweep also solves that problem. So as I push this knee down, I go underneath and I use my leg to bump them up. I'm using my right leg. So we're going to change the angle now to go this way. If you watch for my right leg, the top of my thigh will bump his hips forward. So from here we dive underneath and now I bring him up with this leg here, that pushing up. And that gets my hook in and now I'm ready to grab the hands or wherever I need to go. Okay, one more time. From here, diving underneath, up and in. Now if he does happen to grab your head, continue your motion forward like you're gonna roll him over his shoulder. So I'm just gonna rotate this way again, please. So if I go here and he grabs my head now, lift him forward, okay? It's gonna feel like he's gonna have the shoulder roll over, and likely that's when he's gonna let go, and if he doesn't, then he gets rolled. Another common one is from half guard. So I'm gonna get Professor Neil on this side. I want the underhook, get out to my side, and climb my legs up. So now I have my right knee in front of his hip, I get my left foot in, and then just like before, redirect, and there's my X guard. Okay, this one happened to be a single X with an overhook. Okay, but the same idea, what you just did, you can do from half guard. So one more time, facing this way. And good, slide out, knee in, foot in. Get that underhook, and then dive underneath, and there's your position. From bottom of mount is also a common one. Just like you would go for a foot lock, hands on the hips, thrusting mount escape, and you can come in here, so you have your single X, or underneath to get your traditional X. Okay, so again, we'll do both. Here. Or here. Okay, so this foot on top of the hip is pretty important. Just watch your knot. Bring it through and reaping the leg. Okay. Now, you can do butterfly guard, a sweep into X guard. I'm not a super fan of this one because I'm relying on my partner defending my sweep. So if I go this way and he pulls with his foot, then I can redirect and go the other side. The reason I don't like this one is I feel like you're allowing your sweep to fail to get a good sweep. So if you're with your partner here and you have a good overhook, Yeah, if he popped that foot up as anticipation of the sweep, that's a little different. Now it's easy for me to dive underneath and then redirect the pop up. But if I have a bad butterfly sweep, the chances of me getting a good X guard is not, it's not what I want you guys to rely on. Have a good sweep, have a good X guard. If they anticipate by throwing that leg up, that's a good entrance into it. Now Professor Neil has a couple spider guard entrance or spider X entrances, so he'll teach them from here.
Okay, so what I like to do is have a foot on the bicep and then one foot on the hip, and I like to push so that I get that push back with his hips. Foot slides to the floor and I bring him up over my shoulder at a 45, not straight up, and then that allows me to get my foot to here. Okay, now I'm in the spider X. Your foot placement can be on the hip or it can be on the bicep as well. I prefer to put it on the bicep against guys that are taller than myself, because then I can really off balance than versus the foot on the hip. Okay, so that's underneath. So stretch them out so you get that action reaction. Foot comes to the floor, up at a 45, foot comes to the hip, squeeze together, or foot on the bicep. Now if I want, I can switch this foot here to the inside as well. Okay, or I keep it here and I can look for my sweep. All right, so that's the foot underneath. Or I come to here, okay, and I take my left hand, palm down to the pant legs, and again I like to push a little bit, and then I want to stretch them out, and I get to my side, I get to my left side, and then I try and scoot that knee underneath. Once I do that, I do a little internal rotation so that I get that hand to the floor, and then I can look for my sweeps from here, or I can look to get X guard, whatever you're looking for. So from a different angle. Okay, so foot to here, I want to stretch them out. I transfer my hand from the sleeve to the pant legs. Now it's important that you go palm down. It's a little bit of a stronger grip. I push the hips back and I get to my side. Okay, this is especially important for guys that don't have flexible knees. And then you're going to scoot that knee underneath and you do an internal rotation so that I can get that hand to the floor, and now he's off balance, and then I can go from there. Okay?
One more time for each one, please.
Okay, so the first one, if I have to, break the grips, foot to the hip. There. Second one.
Okay, so now you have several ways to get to the X guard, or variations of the X guard. There's a lot of other ways to get there. We're just showing you guys the standards. I would love to see what your input is and what you can do. What's a creative way for you to get an X guard, right?